So for adding and subtracting in scientific notation form, you need to have the exponents be the same. So you really have to be able to manipulate in scientific notation form. And I know that's an area some of you guys are struggling in. So these two numbers on your screen are not in scientific notation because a mantissa is not between 1 and 10. So let's practice getting these into scientific notation form. So if I look at 40 here, 40 is the same thing as 4 times 10 to the first. And that is in correct scientific notation form. And then I can multiply it by 10 to the negative fifth. Based off the product rule, I can add those exponents. 1 plus negative 5 gets me negative 4. Now, I do it a different way. The way I view it is I can picture this decimal moving to the left 5 times because of that negative 5. And in order to get the mantissa between 1 and 10, it needs to be between, the decimal needs to be between 4 and 0. So that means I move 4 this way. And it's going to be decimal, so it's negative. Now on the right here, we can make this number here into scientific notation form, and I would get 8 times 10 to the negative third, because I move it 3 times, and it's a small number, times 10 to the 6th. Using the product rule, we get 10 to the third power, because negative 3 plus 6 is positive 3. So this would be my final answer. The way I view it is, okay, I'm starting with a small number, and I'm multiplying it by 10 to the 6th, so I move the decimal to the right 6 times. And in order to get it between 1 and 10, I just need to move it to the third. So I have a big number now, 8,000, which is why it is a positive number as the exponent. Let's do some practice ones. So I can look at the mantissa, and I can be like, okay, that's 5 times 10 to the negative first, times 10 to the negative 8th, use the product rule, and get 5 times 10 to the negative 9th. Another way to view it is my mantissa is small, 0.5, and I need to make it bigger. And when I make the mantissa bigger, my exponent needs to get smaller. It's just the opposite. Since I needed to make it 1 decimal place value bigger, I make the exponent 1 smaller. So let's practice that way first for the 5,400 times 10 to the 4th. I need to make that mantissa smaller. So it's between 1 and 10, so 5.4. And it needs to get 3 decimal places smaller. So to make it smaller, I make the exponent bigger by 3, and I get times 10 to the 7th. You can also write the mantissa in scientific notation form. You get 5.4 times 10 to the 3rd times 10 to the 7th, and 10 to the 4th, and I'll still get the same answer. Looking at this next one, 375.8 times 10 to the negative 9th. I need to make the mantissa smaller by 2 decimal place values to make it 3.758. Since I made it 2 smaller, I need to make it the exponent 2 bigger, so negative 9, negative 8, and negative 7. And this very last one, I need to make my mantissa bigger, so it's 5.045 by 3 decimal places. Since I made it bigger, I need to make my exponent smaller by 3.